let's try to decipher who actually owns AI-generated music. AI has revolutionized the music industry by enabling the creation of music compositions, melodies, and harmonies through AI-generated algorithms. This advancement has raised critical questions surrounding the ownership and rights associated with AI-generated music. In this video, I'll dive into the complex realm of AI-generated music to explore key challenges and considerations regarding ownership. By the way, I'm not a lawyer. If you need to learn more about your country's intellectual property laws, I suggest you consult with a lawyer. You can research online to get answers, but consulting with an actual lawyer that deals with IP laws is the right way to go. And now that we've got that out of the way, let's start with the actual fact. AI-generated music refers to compositions, melodies, and harmonies that are created by AI systems without direct human intervention, but most AI systems utilize machine learning and are trained on a certain data set. This means that whatever is created by an AI is actually data that was created by other people. Without the data set, then the system is just a system that can learn patterns, so it actually owes what it generates to the data set. But of course, it's a lot more complicated than that. You can already tell that there are a lot of nuances that would need to be addressed. For example, if I used a 5-second piece of what the AI generated as a sample, but the whole song is actually created by me, how do we attribute ownership? What if the AI generated something new that is not distinguishable from the original works and is then used for a song that becomes a hit? Will it matter? What if Taylor Swift uses a piece of generated AI music only to find out 20 years later that it infringed on copyright? Who would we blame then? I've been reading around online for possible answers and have read some pretty interesting pieces that can give us insights on this complicated question. In an article for cliffordchance.com, an actual IP lawyer, Jonathan Coote, offers, if an AI tool copied specific melodies or lyrics, for example, that would likely constitute copyright infringement. However, it may be difficult to identify such specific examples of copying with well-built AI tools, generally designed to copy that general sound and feel of music, in part to avoid allegations of copyright infringement. Despite the potential implications in the US of the blurred lines case, Williams versus Gay, infringement of the feel of a song is unlikely to be sufficient. A new composition that is composed with an AI tool or sung using an AI-generated voice may not incorporate any substantially similar element or substantial part of any previous work that is actually protected by copyright. However, whilst rights holders may struggle to bring actions for copying by reference solely to the songs generated by the AI system, they may be able to bring actions for copying of the training data itself. Now that last line is super interesting. They may be able to bring actions for copying the training data itself. That is something that had never occurred to me, but makes a whole lot of sense. But in reading that, I'd like to present this other article that kind of confounds that statement. But before I do, please hit the like and the subscribe button and make sure to turn your notifications on for the next time I'd post. I would greatly appreciate that. So in this article written by Rupert Perry for Goethe Institute, he states, the modern day music industry runs on intellectual property. Frankly, you can tell that just by looking at the lawsuits, of which there are plenty, or the recent record-breaking investments in music rights. But for an industry that invented sampling and cover songs, its relationship with IP is still complex, unstable, and conflicting, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence. That's because IP is about a songwriter or musician or producer owning the rights to a piece of music they've contributed to. But when AI is involved, it's unclear who exactly the contribution is coming from. Because while we often think about AI as this one amorphous thing, but actually it contains multitudes, the code of which its algorithms are written, the data on which it feeds, the people who process that data, and the person at the end of the chain who presses the start button. He makes a great point, and it does beg the question, who exactly is the contribution coming from? If the data set was copied, how can it be proven, and who would then be liable at that point? The last article I'd like to share is one written by Sarang Sheth for Yanko Design. He states, the law interprets ownership a little differently than humans do. On an interpersonal level, ownership is simple. If something belongs to me through purchase, I own it, like my phone, my watch, my shoes. The ownership is limited as a matter of speaking because even though I own my phone, I can't repair it, modify it, or hack it without breaking certain rules. But that's for a different discussion entirely. If something belongs to me through creation on an interpersonal level, it's pretty clear-cut too. I made it, it's mine. The law, on the other hand, has three broad ways of ascribing ownership through creation. That's trademark, patent, and copyright. Here's how those work. Trademark protects branding elements such as names, logos, and slogans that are used to identify a specific company or product. For example, Apple's logo is a registered trademark that identifies the company's products and services. Protects new and useful inventions or discoveries, such as new technologies or overall design. Apple has numerous patents for its various technological innovations, such as the iPhone's multi-touch interface and even on designs themselves, like the actual design of the iPhone. Copyright protects original works of authorship, such as books, music, artwork, and even written source code algorithms. For example, Apple owns the copyright to the software used in its products, such as the iOS operating system used in the iPhone and iPad. This means that no one else can legally copy or distribute Apple's software without their permission. This means we are not able to copyright the work generated by an AI, but as he also states, then there's the terms and conditions, which we all have to agree to before we even using their system, which could lead to other paths and avenues for the company, not us. Now, with that said, I have read that legal systems are now arguing that copyright should be granted to the human creator who developed and deployed the AI system, considering AI as a tool or instrument rather than an autonomous entity. Some jurisdictions are even exploring the possibility of recognizing AI as a co-creator, acknowledging the significant role AI systems play in generating music. It also makes me wonder how this would affect or mold fair compensation, transparency and disclosure, and most importantly, how will it preserve human creativity? I feel like we're on the cusp of laws changing soon, either in favor of AI-generated music or against it, but this would need to happen sooner than later because seriously, it's here. I just tested Music LM, Google's text-to-music AI, and that thing came up with some pretty interesting pieces of music that I can see music producers using in their songs. I'll place a link to that video in the description so that you can check that video out and get a taste of Music LM's AI capabilities. So, who owns AI-generated music? As I've previously mentioned, it's a complex and evolving situation. Striking the right balance between recognizing the contributions of AI technology and protecting the rights and recognition of human creators requires careful legal and ethical considerations. As AI continues to shape the music industry, it's crucial to develop comprehensive frameworks that address ownership, copyright, and fair compensation, ultimately fostering innovation, creativity, and collaboration in the realm of AI-generated music. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this subject, so go ahead and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to hit that bell and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.